moderator for this evening is David Levy, and he is a #1 soca leading. Baby, the #1 soca ready. You rockin', you rockin', you rockin', you rockin'. And we also have Natalia Miles coming to the stage. Give them warm welcome.
Hello, David Levi. Rocking you, rocking you, rocking you. It's an honor and a pleasure here. I'm the original rude boy, David Levi, rocking you 107.5 WBLS. #1 Caribbean show in New York City. Now you can hear me every Sunday night. And this beautiful lady here is a lecturer at Brooklyn College, and she lectures about carnival, calypso, soca music, taking the culture to the peak of bigness by any means necessary.
Absolutely. You guys should take my class in Caribbean Studies. Come through.
Very beautiful. So we're going to take our seats now. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a very important evening here today. We have a very important artist that I've known for quite a long time. And an artist that deserves all the recognition he's getting this evening and even more. So before he even comes out here, I want to give Bunji a big round of applause just for being here and doing this evening. Also, I want you to give VP Records miles ahead in reggae, but not, hold on. Not only miles ahead in reggae, but also now miles ahead in soca music too. Give a big round of applause. Now, I want to make sure we get everything right before we start. I want to see where we are. Now, any Bajans in the house today? Any Bajans? One Barbadian over there. Anybody from anybody from Guyana? Any Guyans? Okay, anybody from Jamaica? Any Jamaicans? Okay, that's good. Antigua and Barbuda? Wow. Anybody from Haiti? Any Africans? Anybody from St. Kitts and Nevis? Okay, well, there's somebody missing. Somebody's missing. Anybody from Trinidad and Tobago? Very good. Now you know that if you're from Trinidad and Tobago, today is a special day.
Absolutely. It's 55 years independence. Happy birthday, Trinidad and Tobago.
55 years independence. Happy birthday, Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. You know, Bunji Garlin is the king of raga soca. Is that a real term, raga soca?
Yes, it's a term that he came up with. It's a combination of soca and dancehall mix. He's probably one of the best lyricists that you would find. I mean, he can freestyle and compete with anybody at any time. So yes, raga soca is something that
raga soca will be the genre that he's in. Yes. Now it's amazing. Bunji Garlin, you know, most of the artists that you would hear now chanting like a Bunji Garlin, they started really in the dance hall realm, and then for whatever reason, then transferred that style to the soca realm. This is why we have that kind of music today. Now even spread to Barbados, all over the place. You hear the Peter Rams, all these guys now chanting this kind of style. And Bunji Garlin was the godfather of the asylum that made it happen.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about how do you connect the soca music to carnival, a little bit about the history of carnival, the history of soca music.
We could be here all day talking about the history of carnival. Well, soca obviously came out of Trinidad. It was a combination of East Indian and African music done by Ras Shorty I. And that also came out of calypso. I just want to bring that now. She called a very important name, Ras Shorty I, who is considered the man who created soca music, right? So go ahead. And soca is kind of like the child of calypso, the more contemporary, the younger generation. They created a new sound, and Ras Shorty I, and we see calypso as it is today. And without soca, there is no carnival. I think they work together in tandem. Even in places like Jamaica, where dancehall is is the sound there, they still play soca for carnival, because I mean you can't really.
And carnival now is one of the premier events in Jamaica.
Now Jamaica, right? So I think they work together. You can't have one without the other. So I think carnival and soca are a marriage of some.
Now, how many people here go to carnival? How many people here attend carnival? How many people here have have Chip behind the truck with Bunji Garlin's song. Very, 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 very good. Very good, very good. Now, you know, soca music, a lot of the genres of music from the Caribbean have gotten a lot of recognition. We've got a category for reggae on the Grammys. We've got this, we've got that. Soca is now making a big move, especially with EDM, electronic dance music, and the beats are very similar. So soca is able to be played on places that's never been played before because of the popularity now of the EDM. And I think that Bunji Garlin is one of the few soca artists that is at the forefront to take soca to the peak of bigness by any means necessary. And you know what? I don't want to talk about Bunji Garlin anymore. Let's bring the man out and let's all talk to him. Ladies and gentlemen, the Raga Soca King, the one and only Bunji!
Good night, everyone. Good night, good night.
Yeah.
Someone's supposed to sit here.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it one more time, Bunji Garlin. Well, Bunji, man, how you feeling?
Very good, sir. Very good.
Very good. How does it feel? I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when we were in those basements doing music?
Yeah.
Did you think...
When I used to leave the radio station to come to the studio.
Leave the radio station to come to the studio. Did you think that you would be where you are now and you would have one of the biggest songs in the history of soca music? Just let me say this before you answer. There are very few people that have been able to cross the soca barrier into another form of music, where your record is being played on major radio stations all across the world that does not play soca music. And you are one of the maybe 5 or 6 artists that have done that. Then you were doing this in the studio in Brooklyn years and years ago. Would you believe that you would be here now?
I believed in myself that, you know, that if I continue, you know, believing in myself, something would happen. But I honestly wasn't sure what was going to happen, when it was going to happen. But I knew something was going to happen at some point in time. I just did not know it was all this.
Right.
And I didn't know it would be this, especially I mean, from the very first, you know, from buying my first iPhone, right, and seeing all these things. You know what I mean? If you told me back then I would be doing a feature something in the
Apple Store,
I would have never believed it.
Right.
So this, for me, this is a testament. This is a historical moment, not only for me, but for the culture that we represent, for the region that we come from. You know, these are things that we always thought that would never happen for us as a people, as a region. And then, you know, more and more on a regular basis, especially within the last 5 years, you see all these sorts of developments happening. You know, because the music is just reaching further and further and further. And you know, and one of the most important factors is the general public, especially in the foreign, the West Indian communities in the foreign territories, are responsible for being the engine that is taking the music to the next level constantly, because they're not home. So when they hear they miss it, they hold on to it, they grab on to it. So anyway, they go outside now, they have a certain, like a vengeance, like, right. You know, all these years they didn't want to play our music, play it now, and it is being played now.
And it's being played now.
Yeah.
Now, you know, since you had a very big hit a few years ago, huge hit. Is there pressure from our good friends at VP Records to say, hey, Bunji, I want another big hit like that? When you go in the studio, are you thinking EDM? Are you thinking, hey, I'm playing a record that David can play, that maybe get played on my sister station, Hot, BLS? Or you just say, let me go in the studio and make a good record?
That's my approach. My approach is always, just do good music. It doesn't matter the genre. It could be dancehall, it could be soca, it could be hip hop, R&B. If it is good, it will be played across all formats and all platforms. That is what I try to aim for, because being especially from Trinidad, most times our aim is music for carnival, which is one of our most important institutes, I would call it. Right? Because there's so much revenue that is just built around the carnival period that all the focus tends to go there. And sometimes it shifts focus so hard that we fail to realize that we're so talented as a people that we could also do other things in addition to, therefore building more revenue, building more infrastructure, building more business and things like that. We get in there slowly but surely, but important things that we get in there.
Now, there was a time that after Carnival in Trinidad, Carnival Wednesday, dance hall, reggae, hip hop started playing on the radio station.
Every other music.
Every other music except soca music.
Except soca music.
It's changing slowly.
Yeah, well, slowly but drastically. Now you find, years ago in Trinidad, at any event, the music that would move the crowd would either be hip hop or dancehall.
Right.
And you played soca and the crowd would just be like, in the last 7 years it has changed. Because it seemed like there was an overkill of all the other world music.
Right.
So that soca now being so held back, it comes like fresh music to your ear. So soca music now is the party music of Trinidad and Tobago in Trinidad.
And now becoming the party music of the world.
Party music of the world.
Yes.
I kind of want to delve into the new album now. I mean, Differentology was an amazing song. I mean, I remember seeing vines and looking online, and they're having like outbursts in malls and people dancing, and I was like, this is amazing. This new album, Turn Up, Turn Up, Turn Up.
Turn Up.
There's a song on the album that's my favorite song, actually, Big Bad Soca.
Right.
Do you feel that Big Bad Soca, to me that is the new contemporary anthem of soca, honestly.
That I've heard that numerous times.
Right. Do you think that song is rival to Differentology?
Yeah. Right now, yes.
Okay.
In my opinion, and especially like performing it on stage, there's always, Differentology has cemented itself in the history of our music, and the response is there and the appreciation. But every time Big Bad Soca come on, it just rival that to the next level. And it's something I appreciated because I wrote Big Bad Soca in the vein of the approach of what the older Calypsonian would do, which would be the story. Try to construct this song or the lyrics into, when you hear it, you see it. And you find a lot of our music is deviating from that into more like a fast food format, right? Not disrespecting anyone's presentation. But there's this focus on just doing music for people to just get on their head and get on their shoulders and get upside down and all these kind of things. And missing and somewhere forgetting that there are kids listening to the music, there are elder people listening to the music who don't have those acrobatic skills. So at somewhere someone needs to just draw a little line and say, well look, we also have this existence still. So no matter what age you are, you can listen to the music, you could vibe, you could sing, you could dance, and that was the focus with Big Bad Soca. And it took a long while to catch on in Trinidad because, as I said, we moved away so far from the imaginary type of soca, the storytelling, the creative atmosphere that when you hear something, you could almost touch it. That we forget what it sounds like, right? And then when you have a new generation of people growing up into the different formats, they are now alienated from original form. So it was like, going back 20 steps to work it back 20 steps forward. But we did it, and could safely say it's one of the biggest soca.
One of the biggest soca songs, absolutely. And what about Road Bumps? What was it's a different feel of song. Obviously, but it's a big song as well.
Road Bumps, I kind of went back into my pure, raw, rap soca kind of vein, where it was just about lyrics, not about melody, not even about musical construct in terms of chords and all. It was just about what the lyrical content had to say. And I tried to push the lyrics over to the edge, into a cliched circle, not the across the board. Those who would understand slangs and twangs and things, because that's where I came from. So I kind of just took it back there with Road Bumps.
I hope today you do a little freestyle.
Yeah, of course.
You're talking about taking it back. Let's take it back to Godfather style. Tell us the origin of how you started. Were you the kid in school drumming on the desk and chanting?
Well,
where did Bunji garlin build his skills?
Well, actually, first I was the kid in school who was looking at the other kids who was drumming on the desk. And I used to see, just this, what's this happening here? When they start, crowds would gather. And the response would be, because what they would be saying, most of the lyrics would be created on spot. And I was attracted to that, and I always wanted to do that. And it took me about like 3 or 4 years to actually find a way to be able to do it. And I realized that the key to unlocking that was constant reading. So I always paid attention to reading. For instance, in school, I always pick up a dictionary, a Bible, encyclopedia, a magazine, something, because what I use is the English language. So my goal in life, even more than music, as long as I exist, I will always persevere as much as possible to try to discover a way to use every possible word existing in the English language. It is not possible, as far as I know, but I will always try my best, and that is my focus.
Give Bunji a big round of applause. Come on. Where do you see soca music now? Where do you see yourself going with this new album? And we want the people to know, where can we get the new album? Let's talk about the title of the new album. Let's get all that out there quickly.
Well, the album, of course, is called Turn Up. It will be on VP Records. Of course, you'll have the digital downloads on Apple and iTunes and things like that.
And we can get it on all the other places too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Like how you said that, all the other.
No disrespect.
Right? Of course, it will be in stores and it will be releasing sometime this weekend.
Right.
Actually, so get ready to get yours. There's digital copies and there's hard copies. The approach to this album was really to kind of just leave it within marinating in the Caribbean region, right? I think we are in a safe place now as people and as our music, where we could do what we know, the way we know to do it, without kind of scrubbing off the edges to please the rest of the outside world. Now we have a mission as a people to share the gospel of music, as I would call it, with one another, right?
Right.
But now the music overall is more palatable from platform to platform, because there's this mass integration from all genres. EDM borrowing bassline from soca, dancehall borrowing snares from EDM, EDM borrowing snares from dancehall, alternative borrowing soca snares, and it's back and forth. So now you find in an event, selector that would normally just play hip hop or just play R&B, just transitioning into soca, into dancehall, and you dancing all night and probably didn't even realize 4 or 5 different genres just changed on turntables. That is good. It is as bad as some people see it, because people see it as you cannot define the lines between what music is what music. But we all exist in one world anyway. We're just divided by water, but there's human beings here, human beings here, human beings here, human beings here. There's music, same way.
Very true. You are considered a part of a royal family. You've got I've been fortunate to work with Super Blue. I've been fortunate to work with Fayan. How does it feel to be part of that royal family?
Feels good, because I was always one of Super Blue's biggest fans ever since I know myself. And the night he introduced me to his daughter, right?
It was Super Blue who introduced you to Fayan?
Yeah, he introduced me to Fayan.
He take a chance like that?
Yeah, backstage. It was backstage, the Funk Brass Festival in Trinidad that used to be years ago. And the funny thing about it though is when he introduced us, I didn't look at her in her face. I was just like, because he was there.
Right.
So I didn't want him to feel.
You don't want to disrespect
the presence.
Right.
So I was like, nice to meet you. And like 2 years or 3 years later, I saw her on the front line of the band Invasion. And I was like, who's this small boy? Remember the 6-pack and who's this boy? Trying to send message and all kind of thing, and to no avail, just no response. And I remember this guy, then was the person who put us in contact with each other, because he wanted us to do a collaboration together. And that was the moment I used
to make the move.
To make my move.
So you guys just came back from Notting Hill.
Yeah.
I saw some footage from that. That was really exciting. You did Jamaica. You did a few of the carnivals that just passed. So I'm assuming you're going to be in New York for Labor Day weekend.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Of course.
So, New York being the largest West Indian population outside of the Caribbean, What is the energy like when you perform here? Is this almost like a second home? Like, what does it feel like to be in Brooklyn Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, it's just exactly like that. Exactly like home. And this is what we look for as the entertainers, as the artists, is that same energy that, you know, when you leave home, you can connect with somewhere across the world and still feel that welcome, you still feel that appreciation, you still feel safe, you still feel, you know, at home. Nothing else is the same way, but with a twist. The London Carnival is now considered, well, not now, but it's considered more of a central hub in the world region of all the carnivals and even people, because being in the third world region, as we will call it, Trinidad, Jamaica, wherever else, the possibilities or chances of meeting someone from Romania, Egypt, Czechoslovakia is way less than if you're in London. By that happening now, with so many Africans being around, so many Asians, so many, you know, whatever, the music is being affected by that in a positive way. It is finding quicker streams of getting to the other side of the world just because of that existence of that London Carnival. Added to that is the same whole home feel as if you're in New York City. And this year, more than the last few years, a lot of people from New York came to London. The reverse is going to happen this weekend. A lot of people from London are coming to New York City for Labor Day this weekend.
So where are we going to see you this Labor Day weekend?
Well, tomorrow I'll be on the reggae tip, Hot 97 on the reggae tip. Have a nice cash for All Busy Signal, Charlie Black's Cranium, Conscience, myself, Loopy, Kevin Little. Then Sunday night, 5 Alarm Blaze with myself, Conscience, Private Rider. Then we go over to Rupee's birthday party at the Queens at the casino, Ultimate Reject. In fact, like every soca artist was on that. Then Monday, now before we go set, we touch the truck on Labor Day on Parkway. Must be like VP truck and all the other truck we pass through. And then go to the Brooklyn Mirage for the Busset Show collaboration, myself, Marshall Montano. Yeah.
Okay, talking about Busset, you know, I was inspired, I was shocked, I was happy to hear that record with you and Marshall Montana. Now the soca fans, all the real soca fans put your hand there, if you're a real soca fan. Okay, so, you know, all the real soca fans, I guess when they heard you and Marshall do that record, they were shocked.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen you and Marshall on the same show, haven't heard you and Marshall on the record. What transpired for that to happen with you and Marshall?
Well, what transpired is that the year before, we actually met in St. We were on the same show in St. Lucia, same hotel, everything. And his management, which would be Che Kotari, and Faye, who's my business partner, handles management for my company, I think.
You tell me your wife?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Well, you know, I try to put it away from the wife thing, business partner.
Okay.
And they actually been talking since the year before that, or actually 2 years before that, when there was the big fiasco from in Trinidad on the stage and all that, right? Right. And they've been talking all that time to find ways for the two camps to meet.
Work things out?
Yeah, and the meeting was not music based. It wasn't for the result to be a song. It was just to be civil. You know, if I see you on the roadside, you have a problem, I help you out. You see me, you help me out. I shake you and have a nice day. How you going, brother? Everything all right? I just check on you as a human being. And, you know, that's what we want. Because, I mean, anybody, we're not playing politics. Politicians have a way of being enemies and just show it up for the camera to look good, we shake hands. We're not about that, because my existence, as far as I'm concerned, have to be true to myself, and it has to be true to anybody I meet. So I don't really want to be out there selling tales and lies and, you know, false, whatever else. So we met and I was like, if we cannot meet, in fact both of us agreed that if we cannot meet on civil territory, and the focus being just to be humane to one another, it doesn't even make sense talking. Because the whole objective is to be able to talk in the first place.
Right.
And we was like, you know what, we're growing older, we are pioneers in the business that we exist in. We need to live in a certain way that should shed light and set examples, whether people want to take example from it or not. Because we literally cannot force any man or woman to make peace with each other. They have to do that on their own timing. Because none of us here knows what the person next to you went through with someone, loved one in their life or a friend in their life, So we don't know the damage or the scars that's done. Forgiveness and healing takes place on its own time, on its own premises. So we just left it and let it grow like that. And it organically just developed into music. And that's how that Bossette song came about.
Ladies and gentlemen, give Bunji a big round of applause for that. You know what? I think we should let some people take some questions right now. Can we take some questions for Bunji? So we're going to take some questions for Bunji. Questions are coming all over the place.
Hello, Mr. Garlin, how are you?
Hello.
Now, I want to know what inspired the name for the new album.
Well, the song, the title track for the album is Turn Up. And anyone who knows me know I like to go some kind of way out thinking. For example, Ready for the Road was not Ready for the Road, the song was different energy. Nothing have anything to do with the next. So I decided that, you know what, let me just keep it simple so anybody see it, can just we turn up. So Turn Up.
Hi Bunji, I'm Treasure Empire.
Yes, once.
I just wanted to know if you ever intend on working with artists in other genres. You'd mentioned how everything is just about the distance of water, so how do you feel about working with, like, I don't know, just different styles of music beyond EDM and soca and reggae, like?
Now, I've always been working with artists from all different genres. I just completed a project with a young lady from Sweden called Chloe. Some time ago, I did the remix to Main Chick, which is Kid Ink featuring Chris Brown.
Right.
That kind of just flew below the radar. When Different Trilogy came out, Busta Rhymes jumped on it and remixed it.
A$AP Rocky.
Right.
A$AP Ferg,
A$AP Ferg did Truck on the Road remix. Taurus Riley did Carnival to Banker remix. So for me, it doesn't matter the genre they come from. For me, it's about it. Once you have the skill and the talent, we work. It
all right, I'll call you.
Cool.
The gentleman has the mic. He is coming through the crowd with the mic.
Bunji, Nathaniel here.
What's happening, man?
First off, I gotta say thank you for always supporting my music and shouting me out on Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
So from artist to artist, and you on like a super major scale, what would you say is your biggest challenge as an artist? And from what I observe is that every artist have a different challenge. It's based on where you come from, and it's based on what you sound like or what you look like, right? For me, my biggest challenge was just being from Trinidad and Tobago and able to do multiple genres of music. When I thought that should have been a good thing, it turned out to be a bad thing, because I was constantly put in a block like, you're from Trinidad, you should only do this. You're from Trinidad, you should only do that. And I was like, but look at the whole world. There are people all around the world doing all different forms of music, and they're not being regulated by where they're from. That has been my biggest challenge, right? I think my second biggest challenge as well is having that mind frame, but existing in an arena that we still consider young. Our music that we represent, soca music, is just like about 50 years old, right? So we still now discovering how to properly set up a proper infrastructure to business, to metadata charts, all these things. We still discovering all that. So we have a lot of good music that just waste away in the world, and we don't know how to capture it, how to get it back, how to capitalize on it, things like that. You know, that's been the biggest challenge for me. I take it your challenge might be a bit different. But your arena where you come, I know you, right? And you do a lot of R&B and stuff, and you do features with different hip hop artists and things. So your platform is still a little more paved, because you have so many artists that did before you that you could easily walk in now and represent. We still, as big as I am in our business, still, you know, kind of scratching and clawing and digging and paving way, not only for those coming, but for myself too. Yeah?
All right, we have time for 2 more questions. Right over here.
I guess I asked 2 questions. So, my first question is, one, can I get a hug? My second question is, I know that you see everything that's going on in America, in Charleston, in Houston, and I know you are making music for a different generation, my generation and future generations. And I know the race thing is not something only in America, that it is in the West Indian community as well. And I want to know your thoughts on that, and especially how you feel with people who are not born in Trinidad, yet they still claim this and claim this culture and stuff like that. And people who are born there literally have like a disconnect saying, oh, you're a Yankee, you can't claim this, or you can't be Trinidadian, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, next week, like, what are your thoughts? And
You know, I always had, you know, a strange view on that in terms of, it always bothered me that people will leave from Trinidad, they will migrate to different lands, and those people that migrated want to connect, they want to keep the connect with home. And then people back home would say, well, you were living outside so long, what you know about this, or what you know about that, as though, well, he is not part of, you know, we're from the same, you know, root. So how is it all of a sudden there's this perceived disconnect that because I went overseas to do whatever else, that all of a sudden I have no birthright or claim on the culture that I come from. I always had a problem with that. And so every time I see like artists like Lyrical and them, or Young Voice, or these soca artists from New York, able now to step into Trinidad and make a mark, I feel real good, because I remember like 12 years ago, the talk around town was that an artist cannot leave from Trinidad, come to New York and live. Or in fact, people cannot leave Trinidad, come to New York, go to England, go to wherever else, and still keep the same true Trinidad essence or the West Indian essence that they have. I always thought that was false. It didn't make no sense to me, because you will see these same people come back home and just fit right into society that they never left. So I don't know where that imagination comes from. And on the topic of, it's important that they said that though, because back home a lot of people try to deny it. You know, you talk about like with the race issues that is happening throughout the US. And you know, you see people back home on social media talking about it. And they try to run away from the fact that right back home in Trinidad and Tobago, there's a lot of racial tension that is happening for decades. And most of that is based on political ties. Simply put, over the years we know it as, you're Afro-Trinidadian, you vote for this party. You're Indo-Trinidadian, you vote for this party. And we pass on that from grandparent to grandchild to great-grand, and it continues going. Now, there are larger pockets though of the younger generation that is separating from that division. Pun intended, separating from that division. And they're finding inclusion within inclusion. They get good friendship from, I'm African, you're Indian, you're Chinese, you're Syrian, you're from Venezuela, we all living in Trinidad, and we live the way a community should live. It is happening more now than way back when, and it will continue to develop. I don't think you have anything to worry about where that is concerned.
I can make a curry chicken though, that was weird.
Shizzle.
One more question.
Thank you so much for being here. My name's Kennedy. You have a daughter, so speaking of the next generation, what are you discovering about soca or calypso or your culture or the world interacting with your music and soca music through her eyes?
Well, one thing struck me recently, and that's a very important question to ask. One thing struck me recently is that my daughter is 8 years old. I remember when I was 8 years old, I didn't know any soca songs. I was living in Trinidad, still live in Trinidad. But when I was 8 years old, I didn't know any of the soca tracks I was playing. My daughter is 8 years old now, and she knows about 15, word for word, right? Granted that she knows all the other styles of music, because they're always on YouTube and things like that. But I realize now the technology is affecting them in a positive way. Of course, in the third world region, parents see technology as, you're always on the computer, and then realize that this is a window to the wide world, that they don't have to leave their home now to see what the world has to offer. What we have to do now is regulate what they see, so that it feeds the streams properly. She started asking questions now about, well, what this song would mean, or what that song would mean, taking a particular interest, all because it's on something that they enjoy being on, the iPad, the iPhone, the computers, things like that. Years ago, we only had it in books. And of course, the rebellious Trinidadian didn't want any books. So we didn't want to hear about anything else. But now that it is presented on platforms that they would like to play with and enjoy, it is encouraging them now to be a part of the culture that we have. And that is what I gather from my last experience with my daughter.
Yeah, give Bunji a big round of applause. Bunji, before you go, I want to make sure that you also tell us again about the album, where it's available. Let's talk about it's available at VP Records, because you're here to sell this records that we can sell 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 million
tomorrow
records.
It's actually available tomorrow. So you can get your hard copies tomorrow, you can get the digital downloads tomorrow, of course, on iTunes. You can get your hard copies at VP Records. Of course, it will be on all platforms as well. So yeah, let's go out and buy the copies, please.
And you know what? A lot of time we talk about that we are from the Caribbean, that we love the soca music, but a lot of people don't go out and buy it and support it. So I know you can download it free, but make sure if you really are a true Caribbean person and you truly represent and love the soca music, you should be the first to go there and download it and buy at least one record. Alright? So if you don't put your money where your mouth is, you've got no right to talk about what happens to soca music, what happens to carnival. Put your money where your mouth is and download Bunji Garlin's new music.
Absolutely.
Say that again, sir.
Yeah, the pre-order is up right now, so just sign on.
You hear what the man says? The pre-order is up right now, so just sign on and get it. Be the first to be part of history. We see what he has accomplished already. We know where he's going. He's able to accomplish bigger things. Be part of it. Go and get the record. Bunji, thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Okay, I've got a surprise to you people. Sweetheart, Bunji, can you come this way, please, for a second? Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just asked him, originally when I knew him, he was called the Black Spaniard. Now he's the Viking. Give it up to the one and only, the king of Raga Soca, the one and only Bunji Garlin.
Check. We do the unplugged version first, right? And then we will make a bacchanal version. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Look at the sun now raising up, and the crowd now waking up. The atmosphere got quiet, and none can break it up. We can't never wind us up. We have a drinks and hit a mic up. We're gonna party all night. Hey, 24 parties we get to the road. Tonight I'll leave every last show. Before we head out on the road, get the girl to release the load. So let me see your hands up, so everybody know put your hands up, so if you're ready for the road, let your friend them know. Hey, we're ready for the road. Viking. Hey, tell them we're ready for the road. Viking. So we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. The girl never waits to week. Take it up on the road like freak. The music full up on blast. Thousands of tripping feet. Everywhere you look is just full, and everybody in a real nice mood. So we're gonna party all right now. Everyone with painted money, clean credit and painted money. Nobody wanna dance by themselves. Everybody wanna dance on somebody. So let me see your hands up, so everybody know where your hands up, so if you're ready for the road, let your friend them know. Hey, we're ready for the road. We're ready for the road. I'm It's already ready. It's already ready. It's already ready. Ah, boy, I can see that. Take a chip now. Alright, start the family for a second. We'll be high part one time. Are you ready? I say, we understand and see that display. Every day, making you swear. How many guys say their name? I'm Saturday morning. I hear this one say. Here we go. We are Summer Soca. Big Man Soca. What is the Big Man Soca? We are the sound of 100,000 coming on the road. We are the vibration that you feel when the music blows. We are the man on the oil and we come to the favorite coast. Hey, let the girl them wine outside the electric post. Tell them, take a chip, take a chip, take a chip, take a chip now. Shake your hip, shake your hip, shake your hip, shake your hip, walk, walk, walk. Take a sip, take a sip, take a sip, take a sip now, now, now. Why not go dip, go dip, go dip, let me go, let me go, let me go. I said we are the song, let's see, let us play. One time. Every day, making you swear. All right, pretty girl, let's go. We're sitting down, we're sitting down. We are celebrating, jump, jump. We are the sound of soca. Big Man Soca. Big Man Soca. Hey, when we play, everyone start dancing in the middle of the road. We don't need no birthday for free, these hearts and soul. Two of them on the trip with straight and I pick it on a tour. But everything is everything and that time anything goes. Hey, take a chip, take a chip, take a chip now. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, wow. Take a sip, take a sip, take a sip, take a sip now, now, now. Why not go deep? Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. I said we are the sound, let's see, let us play. Every day, making you swear. Hey, how ready? Let's go. We are the sound of soca. Big Man Soca. I say Big Man Soca. Give us something else on. Now before I continue, let me do this on the Trinidadian crew. Trinidadians, hey, dance must have Robo's office. Hey, dance must have plenty girl. Vibe and a vibe for sure. Real vibe and a vibe for sure. The time is 9:14, 9:40 before we come through the door. Never know in my life I would leave Komoto and end up in the Apple store. With the picture on the wall and the frame with the album dropping up at you on pen summer. Everybody in the place with the people all around you. Bunji, garlin, I wanna say thank you for coming out and supporting the album. Make sure you get it tomorrow now. That's true. When we come to the place where you border, get it tonight when they go and pre-order. Or go down by the store and leave it tomorrow and thank for the Lord. Your dance must have plenty. No puts off it. Hey, dance was out. Give my next one now. Just vibe with them. Give my next one.
Get my expensive side.
Hey, how we love party dancing and around town 30 girl 30. How we love both sides and we love some sun for the girl. Number don't rise every day. That's a question. No. Check it out. Don't change it there. No. I perform and singing my song. And I come and I break it down. But when I perform in here, man, I don't know how I'm supposed to perform so long. If they tell me an hour, half an hour, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know. But everybody on the side, when you're ready to cut off, just give me a signal so. But before go up in the meantime, keep singing me call the girl them wine. This man with the Trinidad band and on the head saying no, don't stop no time. So we have to bring on the rhythm and rhyme. It's Bunji garlin with ding them behind on the turntable. Everybody's on fine. Raise up the volume now. Dance was hard. illusions and delusion got me thinking so again. Well, every time I hear a police siren, I think it's escort coming to take me to the next venue, so my performance will not be sure. And when I see this big truck in born to Spain, thinking it's a horse on bliss, there's a big dump truck passing and rats on it. Hey! I tell you, whoa! I tell you. Stop it. I take off my jacket because it's too warm. And I see people with a little rag and a little flag in the hand. So if you have a Viking bandana in your hand, let me turn it up a little bit like this. Put your hands in the air. Push it up now. Good vibe. Right now where we going? We have a vibe in the front. Bunji, garlin, right? And how we going so and so. And how we going so and so. Up some down so and so and so. And the knees up down we going so and so. Me tell you and so and so. And how we going so and so. Up down so and so and so. And the knees up down we going so and so. Up so. When the party have vibe. Up so. When the girl never life. Up so. When the paper do start and the bartender come and give you about 5. Up so. When the party gathers. When everybody do this, spread out your hands like this. No. Come in. When we wait till here, so much of the place. When we wait till here, so much of the place. Let your hands and let go. Let your hands and let go. That was, nice tunes and yeah, we will celebrate with that all weekend, but the focus now is album, okay? So I get a little piece, you know the thing here. She know the thing, you know? The promoter them so word up on the roster with the real up. All the things the word up. Better careful when the police them turn up. I know you want to meditate and turn up. Handcuff off away just get tight when they turn up. Look how the girl them a wiggle and warm up. In the dreadlocks and the weave and them perm up. Y'all watch this girl favorite and we shall for sperm up. And every week when them a talk about turn up, we'll sign and roll like when butter get turned up. Girl see she rival and now she eyes turn up. Time to link the ear to top we link and firm up. Low me down because the vibe just pouring. Just like if we ripping up concrete and flooring. Now everybody inside of the place, every creed and yell and every race. If you're not enjoying the vibes, hand raise. And if you feel the music, every girl rock your waist. It is Bunji, garlin, and we set the pace. It don't matter the keyboard or the drums and the bass. We take soca music from a planet Earth and send it way up out of space. We turn up, alright, we turn up. We turn up every week, we turn up. They say one more, man. So you know like the big band, the extended version? Hey! Hold on now! Take a trick now! Shake it. Let me go, hey! I say we are the sun that sing, let us play. Every day, every day. When the girl I tell it, I shine up in the day. I hear this one from say, we are the sun that soca. Big man soca. Big man soca. I say big man soca. Yes, the vibe was nice in the Williamsburg, the ballroom. But Bunji garlin finish and right now I've got to go. I mean, we come here for one interview, this is not the show. And respect to the host who interview from the radio. Let me leave now. Got to leave now. Let me leave now. Let me leave now. Alright, do this. Hands in the air if you want me to stay. What man we say? How can you say? Everybody, one. Everybody get off the ground. Two. Everybody get off the ground. One. Two. Let me go, jump. We are the sound of soca. Big man soca. I say big man soca. I say big man soca. Refuse me. I was born, then I believe. I know my upbringing. Where all is forgiven. I'm meeting with my spirit. I was born as a warrior. The father was a slave fighter. So how I come to my show, I now fighting back. Think about the bus man. People to mention I did was a bus man. No matter what they do me, I ain't bound today. Where they get it? Where the people come? What's in there? Tell them we don't pay nobody. All of them will want to stop me. And then anywhere we go, pray nobody. Tell them we don't pay nobody. All of them will want to stop me. And then we don't pay nobody. I say, what is it? We don't come on time to fight and hang with it. I say, what is it? We don't come on time to fight. Join me. Tell them we don't pray nobody. All them my people, they won't try it. See them when they fixing like they want pay. Hear me? Hit them with powder, tell them all they stay. Yes, they call me a human. They say that I'm the blue one. And this is my dominion. Holy faith. I am face tribulation. This is my declaration. That's where I come from. Serpents and scorpions just run when they see my right hand. They are Caribbeans. We from the Caribbean, we don't stand up still. Jump on